Are you struggling to break into cybersecurity or advance your career? Well, you're not alone. With so much advice out there, it's hard to know what truly works and what's just noise. But here's the good news. I've been where you are, and I figured out what actions actually move the needle. In this video, I share the 5 most impactful strategies that helped me build my career, and I'm confident that they'll help you too. Let's get started. Hi, my name is Kyser Clark. I have been in the cybersecurity field for over 6 years now, and I currently work as a full-time penetration tester, also known as an ethical hacker, and I'm here to help you build your hacking and cybersecurity knowledge. Hack number 5, I focus on my soft skills, and you should too. So it's a common misconception that a cybersecurity professional, or any IT professional for that matter, they don't need soft skills. And soft skills are the non-technical skills that you need to find success in whatever endeavor that you're doing. And then for a cybersecurity professional, those are often overlooked. And for whatever reason, people think that you don't need to talk to people. They think that you don't need communication skills. They think that you don't need teamwork skills, or that you need to know how business works. And all of that plays a factor into your career. And the more you learn about how business works and how to work with people, the more success you're going to find. It's not all technical. If you are extremely technical, great, but if you don't know how to communicate and work with a team, then your career is not going to go anywhere. Unfortunately, that is the reality. And I made an entire video dedicated to cybersecurity soft skills. I highly recommend checking that out. And in that video, I mentioned that books are a way to kind of grow your soft skills, and I didn't actually recommend or show any of the books that I read personally to elevate my career. So this section of the video is going to be an extension to my soft skill video, and I'm going to share with you a portion of the books that elevated my soft skills and helped me with my career. So here they are. We're going to do this very rapid fire. If you want to pause the video, you can do that, but this is going to be very rapid fire. 15 minutes to a better interview. Knock 'em dead job interview. How to answer interview questions. Hack the cybersecurity interview. You can negotiate anything. How to get what you want. Never split the difference. Negotiating as if your life depended on it. Getting the yes. Negotiate agreement without giving in. Negotiating your salary. How to make $1,000 a minute. Fearless salary negotiation. A step-by-step guide to getting paid what you're worth. 71 brilliant salary negotiation email samples. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, an all-time classic. Principles by Ray Dalio. And last but not least, probably the best book in my opinion in this list, The Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. It's a fat book, but it's worth every single minute. So I focus on my soft skills, guys. It's not all technical. I have a lot of certifications, as you can see behind me. I got a wall of them, but I didn't spend all my time on certifications. Now I spent the bulk of my time on certifications and my technical skills, but I made it a point to read these books and the books back here that I didn't show in this video an hour a day. And I've been reading an hour a day for a long time. I actually lowered it to a half hour a day because my technical skills, I'm trying to level up to the next level, because that's where I'm struggling at. I'm not really struggling in the soft skill department. So I figured, let's cut the reading down to a half hour every day, and then that would give me another half hour to focus more on my technical skills. But regardless, you should be reading material that's non-technical in nature, because the non-technical and soft skills are highly important. Hack number 4, specialize in a particular area of expertise. So a common mistake that I see a lot of people making is that they don't know what they want to get into, or they have no idea like what kind of job would fulfill them or in the cybersecurity field. And they just say, hey, I want to get a cybersecurity job. And people ask me that all the time. And I'm just like, well, what cybersecurity job do you want? And they're like, I don't know. I haven't really thought of it. I'm like, well, you got to figure out what you want, because you can't get somewhere if you don't know where you're going, right? That's like saying, you want to go on an awesome vacation, but then you don't really specify where you want to vacation to. You'll never make it to your dream vacation if you don't define where your dream vacation is. And by saying I want to work in cybersecurity, that is very similar to saying, hey, I want to work in healthcare, or I want to work in the medical field. It's like, well, there's so many jobs in the medical field. What do you want to do? Do you want to be a brain surgeon? Do you want to be a dentist? Do you want to be an x-ray tech? Do you want to be a nurse? Etc., etc. Same thing applies to cybersecurity. You know, do you want to be a pen tester like me? Do you want to be a cybersecurity analyst? Do you want to be a cybersecurity engineer? Do you want to be a government risk compliance professional, GRC? Do you want a project management role? Do you want a non-technical or a technical role? So there's so many different jobs in cybersecurity, and just saying that you want a cybersecurity job is not going to get you where you want to go. So you need to figure out what you want to do, and that's easier said than done. Luckily for me, I said, hey, I want to be an ethical hacker, and I just rolled with it, and I never changed it. And I'm thankful that that worked out for me. But the point is, I picked something and I work towards that thing, and when you know what you have to do to get that thing, it becomes a lot more clear on what you need to be doing to get into the role that you want. And if you're struggling to figure out how to select a cybersecurity role, I also have a video for that. Watch that video, and it's going to help you select the cybersecurity role that's right for you. And the moral of the story is, it doesn't really matter at first. If you're just getting started, like, the fundamentals are the same across the board. So get on Try Hack Me and start doing the basic level stuff, and you're going to start learning the fundamentals that apply to every job, no matter what. And then once you start diving into different areas, you're going to figure out what you like, what you don't like, and then you can make a decision from there. So overall, you can't make it to the destination if you don't define what the destination is. Before we get into the next hack, do me a favor and like the video and subscribe for more hacking and cybersecurity content. Hack number 3, post on LinkedIn consistently. So I talk about LinkedIn a lot. If you watch my podcast or listen to my podcast, I always say, hey, the best place to reach me is LinkedIn. And 9 times out of 10, my guest also says LinkedIn, because that's where I reach out to them at, because LinkedIn is where it is at. It is underrated in my opinion, and it's so easy to get followers on that platform. Just put this in perspective. I post on all the platforms: Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Threads, even all these platforms, and LinkedIn just grows the most. And it's the same content, it's just that just grows the most because that's where the professionals are, and I'm very career and professionally oriented, and that's where a lot of people follow me and connect with me at. And just posting all, like, what I'm doing, like anytime I learn something, you know, for a while I was posting every week. I would Pwned a hack the box machine, and I would post on LinkedIn and be like, hey, I got this machine done. And people recognize that, like, your consistency. And I highly recommend, like, if you're just starting out, like, anytime you complete a Try Hack Me room, you get a Try Hack Me badge. You complete a Try Hack Me learning path, a Hack the Box badge, or you get a certification, or you get a certificate of completion of a course. Literally just take the image of that, post it on LinkedIn with a small paragraph. You don't want to write a book, because it's honestly the worst post in my opinion. No one has time to read an entire book. But post a paragraph on what you learned and keep it short and concise, and people will start recognizing your consistency, your work ethic, and your discipline, and that goes a long way. And that's how I landed my current job. I just post on LinkedIn all the time with the stuff that I'm working on, which is a lot of stuff, honestly, but just posting about what I'm doing, it prompted someone to reach out to me after I put my green open to work banner up while I was in my job search, and they're like, hey, I think what you're doing on LinkedIn's cool. I see you're working a lot, you have qualifications, and I know you want to be a pen tester. I'm a pen tester at this company. I'm not a hiring manager. I don't make hiring decisions, but I can take your resume forward to my manager and see what they say. And at the time, I didn't really think nothing of it, because this person at the time was not even an acquaintance. Like, I accept all random connection requests, and that was, a lot of people say not to do that. I went against the grain, and I said, hey, I'm just gonna accept every connection request, because if someone wants to connect with me, I'm gonna let them do that. And if they want to send me a message and collaborate with me or connect with me in whatever way, they have that opportunity. They can just dive in my DMs whenever they want. And he dubbed my DMs, and it ended up working out. I gave him the resume, and then like a few days later, hiring manager calls me up, and the rest is history. I got the job that I'm currently at now without even applying for the job. I didn't even know there was an opening for that company, and I got a job that I was looking for a pen testing position, but I didn't actually apply formally. Like I didn't go through like the traditional like, submit your resume to this online portal, fill out your job history and all that. I didn't do that for my current job, and the reason why is because I was very consistent on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very, 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 very powerful networking tool, and if you're not using it, honestly, you're setting yourself up for disservice. I'm not saying you're going to fail. A lot of people will get jobs without being on LinkedIn, but it puts you at a significant advantage when you take LinkedIn very seriously. Hack number 2, get certifications. Now, I always talk about cybersecurity certifications. I feel like I don't make a single video without mentioning certifications because they're that important, in my opinion. Now, a lot of people, there's some people out there that'll say, hey, certifications aren't everything, and you don't need them. And that's actually true. You don't need a certification, and they aren't everything. However, a big, big however, they are really good at helping you grow your career in breaking into the field. It puts you at an advantage over other candidates who don't have certifications. Like it or not, certifications are relevant, and certifications are number 2 on my list because I always say it's been the number 1 thing that's helped me in my career, and that is actually true. But we do have one other thing that has really helped me my career more than this, which is what we're going to get into in hack number 1. But certifications have been the leading cause of why I'm cybersecurity professional I am today, and how I broke into the field. I feel like if I didn't have the certifications that I had, I wouldn't be in the position that I am today. So overall, I couldn't recommend certifications enough. And like I said, you don't need certifications, and they aren't the end all be all as what people will say. However, like I said, big however, they help you out tremendously. Recruiters recognize certifications. Hiring managers recognize certifications, and one of the things I always say is go to any job board posting. I got my job through a non-job board posting, but if you look at job board postings, you will notice that there's almost always like a list of 5 certifications. So, one certification probably isn't enough, and we're going to talk about that here in a little bit. But overall, you need to get as many certifications as you can, in my opinion. So I can't advocate for them enough. So go out there and get certifications. It will help you out in the long run, I promise you. Before we dive into hack number 1, I do want to give you a little bit of a bonus, and this bonus is the top mistake that I see people making in this field, and that mistake being you only need 1 certification. You only need 1 degree to break in this field, and that is one of the biggest mistakes. And I said earlier, like, you don't need a certification, but thinking that if you got 1 certification, that's all you need. There's so many other things that you have to have. We talked about soft skills. We talked about LinkedIn networking. We talked about certifications. And 1 degree, 1 certification isn't enough. You got to have a complete package. You got to have the skills. You have to have both technical and soft skills. You have to have the network, and you have to have qualifications, and then yet all of that combined is what helps you get into the field. If you don't focus on if you're only focused on 1 degree or 1 certification, that's probably not going to be enough. And I see people make that mistake so many times, and it's unfortunate because they think like, oh, I got this certification and I can't find a job. Why can't I find a job? Or some people be like, oh, I got my master's degree in cybersecurity. Why can't I find a job? It's like, well, you need to do more than that. And cybersecurity, it's not an easy field to break into, despite the numbers of millions and millions of unfilled jobs. It is an incredibly tough job market right now, and you need to be doing everything you can to separate yourself from the pack. And that's kind of what this video is all about, is you have to go the extra mile, because if you go the extra mile, you will outlast and outshine your competition, because like it or not, you are in competition with other people applying for the same jobs. There's a job that opens up, and hundreds of people, sometimes even thousands of people, are applying to the same job. And Another thing that with jobs is that a lot of the jobs nowadays aren't even real jobs. They're ghost jobs. And if you don't know what a ghost job is, it's just basically a fake job. And there's fake jobs that are set by companies because companies want to show their stakeholders and their shareholders and the general public that they are growing. And by posting a fake job posting, they can say, hey, we're growing the company. See, we got all these positions that we're hiring for, and they're really not. They're just kind of looking like they're growing. And then the next one is companies will post fake job postings to get their existing employees to think that they're bringing in new people, because it's a fear tactic that companies use to get people into kind of scaring them into like working harder, or like, you know, being more grateful for their job or something. It's kind of weird how some companies do that. It's a shame. It should be illegal, honestly, to have fake job postings, but it's happening nonetheless. And then the third type of fake job posting that is happening is threat actors, cyber criminals, scammers. They make a fake company and they put a job posting, and they just collect people's resumes and they collect people's information, and then they use that information against you and or sell it for profit. So there's that kind of fake job posting as well. So with that being said, I would say most of the jobs are the majority of them are probably fake and ghost jobs. So if you're applying for jobs and you're getting rejected, you're not hearing anything back, it was probably a fake job posting. And that makes the competition a lot harder, because there's really not that many jobs, guys. Believe it or not, that don't believe the lie of there's millions and millions of unfilled jobs, there's 0% unemployment. I fell into that trap before I joined the field. I thought joining this field was going to be a cakewalk. I honestly did. I seriously thought when I got out of the military that there was going to be, you know, dozens of recruiters, dozens of hiring managers fighting for me to work for them. I thought they were just gonna like toss me money, and I thought people were gonna be in a bidding war for me. And then I got out of the military, and I'm like, wow, where are all the job offers? There's not that many of them, and it's slim pickings. I did have a handful of jobs to pick from. I had like 2 or 3, but that was a lot less than what I was expecting. I was expecting like literally in the dozens, because I bought in the lie that there are millions and millions of unfilled jobs, and companies are desperate for talent, and that's just not the case. It's not the case. So that's a common mistake. So if you think that one certification or one degree is going to do it for you, you're going to have a bad time. And like it or not, you are in competition with other human beings that is probably watching the same video that you are right now. So make sure you dial in and focus and really grow your soft skills, network on LinkedIn, get your certifications, and then with this next tip, work as hard as you can. Last but not least, hack number 1, work on your career outside of your working hours. So what does this mean? So if you have a day job currently and you're trying to change your career into a different field, or pivot into a different type of role, or even just level up in your existing position, you need to get off of work, and then you need to do activities outside of your working hours to grow in your skills and break into the field if you haven't done that already. And there's a common saying that says your 9 to 5 pays your bills, and then your 6 to midnight increases your skills. So that's what you need to really consider. Like your 9 to 5 pays your bills, your 6 to midnight grows your skills, and that's the mentality you need to take. So for me, I would, you know, do my full 8-9 hour shift at work and in the Air Force as a system administrator, cyber defense operations, and then I would get off work and I would put 3 to 4 hours into studying for certifications every single day, and very rarely skipping a day. I put in absurd amount of hours, and if I didn't do that, then I wouldn't be in the position that I am today. It is a hard field to break into. I can't stress that enough. And if you are thinking, like if you're in an IT role, for example, like you're a system administrator, and you think you're you know, however many years, like let's say 10 years as a system administrator is gonna just magically get you into a pen testing role, for example, then you're sadly mistaken. You need to go get some sort of certification, or work on your hacking skills outside of that, because honestly, that's what employers are looking for. It's a different kind of skill set. And if you are a college student you need to be working on certifications and doing try hacking and hack the box after your classes, outside of classes. Your college degree, like I said earlier, isn't enough. So if you're just thinking that like, oh, yep, I'm gonna go to class, go to school, get good grades, and then go home and then party or play video games after class all day every day, you're gonna have a hard time finding a job with just your one certification. You really need to be spending your time outside of class, or if you have a full-time job outside of work, growing your skills. And you need to dedicate as much time as you possibly can, whether that's 2, 3, 4, 5 hours, whatever it is. You need to dedicate the time. And I know that's easier said than done. I know a lot of people, especially you know, older adults, they have children to take care of. Me, I don't have a family and I don't have children, so I could dedicate the 4 or 5 hours every single day after work, working on my certifications. And then on the weekends I would put in 12 to 10 hours. So it's a lot of work, guys, and I would say that's been the number one thing that's really set me up for success, is just spending hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on working towards my certifications. I quit playing video games for the longest time, and my last podcast episode I talked about this, that I bought my first TV for the first time in 10 years, and I'm starting to play video games. Like, one of my favorite video games is God of War. I love that series, and God of War Ragnarok came out in 2022, and I bought it for the first time in 2024, 2 years later. I delayed the gratification of playing that game for 2 years. And if you're not willing to make this kind of sacrifices, I'm sorry to say, the people who are willing to make this kind of sacrifices are going to get the positions that you seek. There's a quote out there that basically says, you know, whatever you're not willing to sacrifice, that is what your competition is going to sacrifice. And that's the person who's going to beat you is willing to sacrifice the thing that you're not willing to sacrifice. So breaking the field, it's not all fun and games, guys. Believe it or not, like you gotta cut back on some of the pleasures in life, whether it's video games, Netflix, Hulu, sports, partying, drinking, and whatever else that you're doing that's not productive. You gotta cut it out, and that's not easy, because it's called a sacrifice for a reason, but it is sacrificing now to live a better future. And then if you like me, you know, I sacrificed for 6 years straight without really playing on a whole lot of video games and watching TV and all this stuff, and now I'm in a position where it's like, okay, I can play a video game for an hour, you know, every day, or maybe every other day, or whatever I feel like doing. And the only reason why I'm in that position is because I sacrificed for so many years, and that's been the number one thing that's really set me up for success. And while the grind isn't always fun, you have to enjoy what you do. And that cybersecurity, it's like a game to me. It's very fun, and don't get me wrong, there are times where it's challenging, but overall, like, if you should be getting in the field because you like the field, not because you want the money or whatever reason you're joining the field. If you can't like what you do at least half of the time, then you might be in the wrong field. So be willing to make those sacrifices and put in those long hours, and you will be rewarded. So there you have it. That is my top 5 tips for building a cybersecurity career and standing out in the field. If you want to learn more about soft skills, click this video right here. I go very in depth on soft skills that every cybersecurity professional needs to know. If you want to learn more about how to choose a cybersecurity career for you, or what job role you should be selecting, check out this video if you want to learn more about that. So either one of these videos, check them out. It's going to help you grow your hacking cybersecurity knowledge and help you get where you want to go. So good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the next video.